Hello everyone, Josh first back again, bringing you guys some more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to farm up, yes, you heard that correctly, farm up Awakening Stones for your gear. Now, this is something that a lot of you should be focusing on when you get around mid to end game here with the current content available on the global side of the game. And to do that, I'm going to be showing you a few different steps that kind of take to prepare for this. Before you actually go into the actual method itself. So one thing that you want to note is you're going to need to farm up a ton of gear, rare gear, SR gear, SSR gear, etc, etc. You want a bunch of gear to farm up, that way you can go to your DN in your actual tavern and of course salvage it for awakening materials. And there's actually ways that you can go about getting more awakening materials from your individual pieces of gear. So we're going to be going over all that in today's video. I hope you guys do enjoy, and I hope this was very helpful. So if you go over here to your king and you see your boy king, you can actually go to your equipment, awakening materials. Now this right here is for UR gear. Completely disregard this. We're not focusing on this at all. Honestly, I don't even know why they even put that into a game when there's no UR gear available yet. So hopefully no one's made the mistake of actually upgrading your SSR awakening stones into these. So just don't do that, guys. That's number one. But you'll notice here that you have these 1-star materials that can go into your 2-star materials, then into your 3, and then to your 4 and to your 5. Now, majority of players are going to be focusing mostly on the 3-star materials for right now when you are starting to work on your gear, because that's going to be your right side rare gear. Some of you are using uncommon and common gear as well, which is fine for substats for the right side. But if you're looking for the best bang for your buck in terms of main stats and substats, a lot of you are going with the right side rare gear method, which means you're going to be focusing a lot, again, on those 3-star awakening materials, and you're going to want a bunch of those. And then when you get to more end game and you're focusing on your left side gear, which is your SSR gear, which I hope a lot of you are doing, then you're going to be focusing on your 5-star awakening materials. And these are very, very hard to come by. And a lot of the time you're just going to be trying to actually upgrade your 4 stars into 5 stars. And the 4 stars, by the way, are for SR gear. And SR gear, we don't deal with SR gear because the problem is SR gear requires diamonds to upgrade the substats or to change up stats or to fix the main stat, etc, etc. So you might as well just use one more diamond and go with the much superior gear, which would be SSR. So because of the fact that I don't know why the game decided to do that, why the developers thought this was a good idea, but they locked SR gear behind diamonds when SSR gear is already that same way, and SSR gear gives you way more from that main stack because it's just much higher. So if you're going to be re-rolling with diamonds, obviously you're going to go with the better gear. So SR gear, unfortunately, in this game somewhat takes a back seat. Now if it used gold, like maybe 20k gold instead of the 10 from rare gear, then SR gear would be pretty useful and very good. But since they locked it behind diamonds, they've pretty much made SR gear a bit, I don't want to say useless, but very close to it. So that's unfortunate. So a lot of the time, you're not going to be using those 4-star awakening. You're going to be using those as a means to make the 5 stars. So in today's video, we're going to be showing you how to get a lot of 3 and 4 stars and maybe even pick up a few 5 stars along the way. So now that you know kind of the whole process of upgrading your stars for your materials that you're going to be using for your gear, let's also talk about what you need to do now with gear after you farmed it. Now, right now, the boss stages are half stamina. Now, that is only for a limited amount of time, and that'll probably come and go. So, I would say, depending on when you watch this video, whatever your best place is at that current time to farm gear is, go ahead and farm gear from there. And once you've farmed up a bunch of gear, you'll come over here to DN, and DN will allow you to select up to 12 pieces of gear at a time. Now, I highly, and I mean highly recommend that you only do 12 of the same grade of gear when you are turning these in, because then you're going to be getting better chances at higher success rates and more awakening stones. So for example, if I want to turn in SSR gear, I want to turn in 12 at a time. Okay? I don't want to mix and match SR gear, SSR gear, and rare gear, because that's going to greatly affect your actual production when you salvage. So that's one thing. Another thing is you'll notice that some of my gear is +5 and some has nothing on it at all. This is to show you guys the difference in turning in gear that has no enhancements with gear that has enhancements. Now, I've been discussing this quite a bit with a lot of people in the Discord, and they've been doing a lot of testing, and it appears that really it's kind of up to the player. If you're willing to throw some gold at the game to get better awakening materials, you can take your SR gear up to +5 and then trade it in. Or if you're a little bit lower on gold and you want to be more conservative, you can just +1 your SR and SSR gear. Now keep in mind, if you +1 them to +5 them, there will be a big difference in the awakening materials you can receive. So for that test, I wanted to do it here in the video as well. So for SR gears, I have them at +1. And then for SSR gears, I made quite a few at +5. And then I also have some that have no enhancements at all. And SR gear that has no enhancements at all. That way you guys can see the difference. So let's first, and by the way, rares, they're not really worth too much upgrading, to be honest, because you're going to be getting a lot of the 2-star materials from that. And we're really focused on getting 3-star and higher materials for this particular guide. So let's go ahead and just show you 12 SR pieces of gear that have no enhancements at all. And by the way, you can upgrade gear quickly from your item storage, which is a lot easier than doing it anywhere else. All right, so let's see here. We're at 11 out of 12. Sorry, my mic cut out on me. Where's my 12th piece of gear? Here we go. So now we have 12 pieces of SR gear that have no enhancements at all. So we're going to go ahead and see what we get back. We're going to go and salvage. Now, obviously, you want to try and get an ultra salvage, which would be awesome. Sometimes it just don't happen. We just got one just now. So you saw there, we got an ultra success. We only got 2 3-star materials from 12 SR pieces of gear with 0 enhancements. 0. And we got 56 normal awakening stones as well. So let's go in now. Let's try that again. Except this time with all 12 of these being +1. So they all have 1 enhancement. So let's go ahead and do 12. There we go. All of them have a 1 enhancement. Let's go ahead and salvage. There we go. See if we can get another ultra, because that would be perfect for the test. Okay, we've got a super. But as you can see, even with a super success, we already got better material drops than 12 with an ultra with no enhancements. So we got a less success, but more reward. So if this would have been ultra success, it would have been even more. So you can see here that we actually got 2 4-star awakening materials and 2 3-stars plus 112 normal materials. So a big bump up, and that's with literally just +1ing all that gear. So very, very big difference. Now again, you are going to be fronting up some gold to do this, and you won't get that gold investment back, but you will get those awakening materials back, and it kind of makes up the difference by quite a bit, especially if you're trying to work on mid to end game gear. Now let's do the same method using SSR equipment with no enhancement versus +5 enhancement, so a little bit more expensive. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, we have 12 right there. None of them have any enhancements. Let's go ahead and salvage these out. All right, we got a super success. So that gave us 70 of the normal materials and 2 of the 4-star. So even just doing SSR with no enhancements still gave us less back than +1ing SR gear. Pretty crazy, right? So you guys are seeing a big difference in when you enhance gear and then you turn it in. It just, you get so much more value back out of it. Let's go ahead and do 12 now that are all SSR gear and all +5. So this one's going to be a little bit more on the pricey side for gold investment. Let's go ahead and see what we get back from salvaging. See if we can get an ultra success, which would be awesome. We got a super success. So we got 150 of the awakening materials back, the normal materials back, and 6 of the 4-stars. So again, another big bump. Now, if I would have got an ultra success on this, I probably would have got even more of the 4 stars back, potentially up to maybe 10 perhaps, and maybe even 1 or 2 SSR or 5-star awakening stones. So you can really do a lot with this. Sometimes it's still going to be relying on RNG if you get a super versus ultra. But if we went out an ultra there, you guys would have seen a huge bump. But again, throwing a little bit more into the enhancements for your SR and SSR gear, and then of course turning in all SR gear and SSR gear 12 pieces at a time, you really greatly increase your return on salvaging for your awakening stones. That way you can then go and work on more higher end gear and getting your gear, especially on your right side, to at least 5 stars and +5 with all the substats that hopefully that you want. So there you guys go. That is my guide on how you want to go about farming your awakening stones for gear. Again, choose your favorite place to farm gear. Make it +1 to +5. The more enhancements you do, the better the return. So I hope this video was helpful to a lot of you out there that were wondering, how do you farm up 3, 4, and 5-star awakening materials? This is how you do it for gear. So again, hopefully it was helpful. If it was, like the video if you did, comment below, tick notifications, subscribe if you're new here to the channel, and don't forget to join us in the Discord below. Until next time, hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Peace.